Ladies and gentlemen, dear all, as you know, the transport sector is under pressure to cut its emissions, and the clock is ticking. For the EU to be climate neutral by 2050, we need to reduce transport emissions by 90% by the same date. Our sustainable and smart mobility strategy sets out a pathway for achieving this target and is crystal clear on the role of clean hydrogen. We need it. By 2050, we expect hydrogen to provide around 20% of the overall transport fuel mix. Low-carbon synthetic fuels derived from hydrogen should contribute an additional 20%. To get there, we need to ramp up both production and distribution channels. For road transport, we are setting binding targets for hydrogen refueling stations in our proposal for a new alternative fuels infrastructure regulation. The refueling stations must be accessible at least every 150 kilometers along our core trans-European transport network by 2030. Every TEN-T's urban node must also have at least one hydrogen refueling station to serve both trucks and cars. This would create a sufficiently dense network of hydrogen refueling stations to ensure adequate cross-border EU connectivity and to support the 60,000 hydrogen lorries that we envisage seeing on the EU roads by 2030. Market forces will then decide where additional capacity is needed. I can also see both the potential, but especially the need for hydrogen in our transition to cleaner aviation and maritime transport. By 2030, our strategy foresees having zero-emission vessels market-ready, with large aircraft following in 2035. We have started setting up the Renewable and Low-Carbon Fuels Value Chain Alliance, a voluntary collaboration between stakeholders that will complement the European Clean Hydrogen Alliance. It will focus on the supply of renewable liquid and gaseous drop-in fuels. Meanwhile, we need to look at other ways to decarbonize aviation and maritime transport, and now. This is where I expect the fuel cell and hydrogen joint undertaking, together with the clean aviation joint undertaking, to show us the way. Our FuelEU maritime proposal is designed to increase demand for renewable and low-carbon fuels through targets for the greenhouse gas intensity of fuel used per ship. It remains technologically neutral since it does not prescribe how these targets are to be met. But make no mistake, hydrogen is part of the solution. We expect this to lead to renewable and low-carbon fuels having an 86 to 89% share in the fuel mix by 2050, of which around 30% could be hydrogen and hydrogen-based synthetic fuels. Hydrogen can also be used to reduce emissions from port operations through various cargo handling activities. We are, for instance, already supporting the H2 Ports project under the fuel cells and hydrogen joint undertaking. I see a multitude of ways in which hydrogen can help us decarbonize mobility. What we urgently need is for the potential to become reality on our roads, in our skies, and on water. Ambitious policy and market action is needed to get the ball rolling, so let's work on this collectively. Thank you.